Upon completing this test chamber, you will be rewarded with murder you cake. Portal. Portal is a video game that came out in 2007 as part of a bundle called the Orange Box. For all intents and purposes, I never bought the Orange Box. I never even played Portal until earlier this week. And after finishing it, I realized that I should have played this years ago. So Portal takes place in Aperture Science Laboratories and you play as Chell. And you're more or less a guinea pig. From what you see in this game, Aperture Labs is this giant underground facility filled with test chambers. And in these test chambers, you have to solve these puzzles to move on to the next test chamber. You, Chell, are equipped with nothing at all except these super boots, so you can take hard falls, and a portal gun. This is where the title comes into play. You can shoot two portals, orange and blue, and you go in one and out the other. And doing so is required to complete these test chambers. And the gameplay is pretty simple. I'm not huge on gameplay. If a game has a solid story, I'll forgive the gameplay if it's not good. But the gameplay in Portal is pretty simple. You walk, jump, crouch, and shoot portals, and that's pretty much it. Simple, good. The story in this game is really interesting, actually. You start out solving test chamber after test chamber, but not too far into this game, you notice that there's something a little off about this place. At this point, I have to talk about GLaDOS, genetic life form and disk operating system. GLaDOS. GLaDOS is the artificial intelligence who's running Aperture Labs. You never see her, you only hear her voice guiding you through these test chambers. Well, not really guiding you, more like messing with you. Now, I don't know about you, but there's something about GLaDOS' voice that just scares the living shit out of me. It's so creepy and eerie and robotic, it almost sounds evil. You will be rewarded with Now, the first half of this game, you're learning the mechanics, you're figuring out how things operate here at Aperture Labs. I will say that some of the test chambers in the first half of this game seem damn near impossible at first. This game will have you sitting there for like half an hour scratching your head going, how the hell am I supposed to do this? And when you finally solve those puzzles, you feel like your IQ just skyrocketed. You are a fucking genius. You feel really good about yourself after solving these test chambers. That's the first half of the game. Halfway through the game, the plot really picks up. You're like, oh, this is where the story is going. Okay, the second half is really where it's at. It's fast, it's intense, and the situation gets a lot more dire for you. Did I mention the game's short? It's pretty short. The first time I played it, I spanned it over a couple of days, just a few test chambers per day, just figuring out how it works. I beat the game within like 3 days. When I played it for a second time, I whizzed through it in like a couple of hours. So the game is short, yes, but it's really enjoyable. And the soundtrack is really good in this game too. I love a good soundtrack to anything, a movie, game, TV show, whatever. The soundtrack in this game has that really zen vibe with a bit of eeriness to it. There's a bit of a mechanical sound in there as well. You can almost meditate to it if you didn't know there was a creepy AI watching your every move. This game does a great job of making you feel like you are all alone in this giant mechanical laboratory. You would swear to God that you, Chell, are the last living human being on the face of the planet. The one thing that gets on my nerves a little bit about this game are those little radios. At first the melody is catchy, but got a little annoying after a while. But is Portal still an A game? Yeah, it's an A game. So if you played Portal, what did you think about it? Go ahead and leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe.